What's going on, Sunbelt fans? Dominic Crusetto here, host of the Sunbelt Syndicate podcast, and also thought I'd put something together for the championship game on Saturday that pits Troy up against Coastal Carolina. If you don't follow the podcast, please try it out and see what you think. I'm also going to be covering basketball and baseball throughout the year so we can keep it going year-round. Obviously, throw some things in there when stuff comes up with coaching changes and whatnot. But jumping into this, just put the last week of plays about Troy and Coastal Carolina, kind of what they run, what they could be seen against each other. And so let's just jump right in, take a look at that, and see what we got.
Gunnar Watson early in the game looks to Tez Johnson downfield, but is picked off by the Arkansas State defense. This is a pretty large return here for Arkansas State, but one little thing that I kept this whole return in here for is to watch Vidal come in here and make the tackle. It was important because they ended up only being able to kick a field goal. Gunnar locks into Tez here, as you see, and it's just slightly out of reach. Tez is a little smaller. Needs to try and come up with that. Right here, not a big tackle, but you'll see number 2, Carlton Marshall. You'll need to keep an eye out on him for the championship game on Saturday. Big star defensively. Billingsley gets a big carry up the middle of the field. Almost 600 yards and 5 touchdowns on the season. And then Vidal will come in and finish it off into the end zone. Reddy Stewart, Defensive Player of the Week. Great pass breakup here at the top of your screen. We'll continue to see why he was Defensive Player of the Week. Zeroes in on the pass coming in. And what's really impressive, no pass interference calls all season against him. Slocum comes in with a big hit here. Another defensive player to keep an eye on. Already seen Watson with an interception, and he's going to fumble right here before halftime. Obviously, the weather's playing into that there with a little wet condition, but he puts the ball into a little bit of a bad spot, a little careless. Can't have that kind of a turnover in a championship game. Very next play, Troy almost gets it right back. Arkansas State gets a little fancy with the flea flicker. Marshall almost comes away with the interception. Kept that one in there. Coastal could run something similar. Need to be aware of that. Aggressive coverage here, some man, but this is what you want to stay away from on Saturday. Got a mobile quarterback here for Arkansas State and Blackman. Coastal's got mobile quarterbacks all across the board. Got to keep up with that. Cholo gets in defensively with some pressure. Number 5, right up the gut. Takes down quarterback Blackman here on this play. And then watch the pop on this punt return here. He's going to go over to the right. Number 6, Woods lays the wood. Clean hit, shoulder to shoulder, but returner never saw it coming. Outside run here, Jaborner sniffs it out, takes down the running back. Tez Johnson gets involved a little bit. It's a little simple screen. Gets the first down. And then these are the types of runs you're going to see from Vidal. Nothing real fancy, straight up the gut. He's going to pick up some hard yardage downfield. And then DK Billingsley leaks out and almost picks up the first down. This is probably where this game started to turn last week into Troy's favor. They come fast out of the huddle, try and just get that yard, but guess what? Billingsley's there to pick up quite a bit more and get him running downfield. Lull him to sleep with the run, play action pass, and look at this one. Gunnar Watson with a great pass there to Johnson Sanders in the back of the end zone. Can't beat this placement, folks. Watson's not the best quarterback out there, but this one is a high quality throw and catch. Blackman comes out near the end zone. Arkansas State goes for a trick play. Fake the run, throw it over the top to the tight end. Again, some of these plays are in here specifically because Coastal could be running some of the same looks. Another play action pass deep down the middle of the field. Watson to Johnson Sanders again. Gets down inside the 5. Troy would take it. Another quick run up to the line and go on 1. Get Vidal all the way into the end zone for 6. Coastal will have to be ready for some quick plays out of the huddle. And then back to Reddy Stewart. He's got this one for 6. And again, told you he would be obvious to be why he's the player of the week from last week. Some pass breakups, few tackles, takes one in for 6. Jackson gets up the gut here, takes down Blackman for the sack. And you're going to see one thing here Johnson Sanders brings that Tez Johnson cannot, and that is simply size and strength. Coastal Carolina is a little bit weak secondary. This could be a big factor in that. And then Vidal gets another chance to get into the end zone. 4 total on the day. This one defensively, nothing fancy. They just bring the blitz. Huge loss there for Arkansas State. And then why not go back to Vidal? Again, nothing fancy. Gets the blocks he needs. Takes advantage of the rest. Pay dirt again. Reddy Stewart says, hey, you got another quarterback? I'll take that one too. Doesn't take this one in for 6, but again, 2 touchdowns on the day. Then we're going to see JMU here. Pressure gets to Centeio there. Johnson brings him down early in the game. This one was pretty close just before half, before it started to be broken up. Pinckney gets tackled here, and as you'll see, he doesn't move that arm a whole lot. Does end up coming back into the game. Only catches one more reception after this one. He may not be 100% Saturday either. 3rd and long, they've got to throw it right. Nope. Coastal keeps it on the ground, picks up the 1st down. 4th down, they're going to run it this time, right? Nope. Play action pass over the top. Mobley gets into the end zone. These are the types of plays Troy's defense has got to be on the lookout for. These are not the types of offenses you're going to see a lot throughout the season. Coastal mixes it up greatly. And then here, defensively, they bring the blitz, force Centeio into a throw he doesn't really want to make. This one called incomplete. Great play here. Gets Jared Brown into open space. Takes advantage, picks up the 1st down, and a little extra. Clark sniffs this play out from the start. He is their big nose tackle. 6'4", 340. You do not want to let him get into your backfield. Coastal a little overly aggressive here. Dukes pop over the top, take advantage. Again, this is where Coastal has some weakness there in the secondary. Troy's passing game could have a nice day if they can get past that. Centeio over the middle for a touchdown. Again, here's another look. Coastal 4th and 1 inside their own 35. These are the kind of gambles that they're going to take. You've got to be ready for this. They think they can pick up a 1 or 2 yard pick up whenever they need it. And then Centeio, DeRavino, over the top for a touchdown. Great throw and pass. Really, defensively, wasn't a bad play. He was right on top of him, but the pass and the catch were just better in that one. All right, first play of the second half. Coastal knows the run's coming. Guess what? They can't stop it. If you got Billingsley and Vidal in the backfield, you've got to be ready for that type of play on Saturday as well. Tight formation. Again, running was successful, so now they're going to go to play action pass. Tight end leaks out. Not covered at all by the secondary there of Coastal being a little too aggressive. Tight ends could play a surprising role on Saturday. And throw this one in there. It's a quick slant into the end zone for JMU. You can see those quick slants hurt Coastal a little bit. Keep an eye out on those for Troy to maybe take advantage of. And this is an interesting set here. They're going to show some plays from McCall, show what Coastal's kind of missing. Obviously, just the veteran leadership and the command and confidence he has in the offense is going to be the biggest difference between him and Guest and Carpenter here. But this is the very next play. There was no editing here on this one at all. This is right how they went back in, picked off. Not a good throw there. Can't have those on Saturday.
Okay, so now we've seen a little bit about what each team could bring to the table. We know that Troy's offense runs really through the run game. If they're having a lot of success there, they'll be able to open up that passing game for them, where they've got Tez Johnson and Johnson Sanders, who can also take advantage of the downfield play and get that field stretched out. So if they can work in tandem and Gunnar Watson takes care of the ball, they should have pretty good success against this Coastal defense. But that's not to say Coastal's not going to have some success. They've got Jared Clark there in the middle at the nose tackle position. Not a huge statistic-grabbing guy, as nose tackles typically aren't, but he is a big-time disruptor, and he is big enough that you're going to have to double-team or focus on him every single time you snap the ball. So on the offensive side, For Coastal, it's vastly important that McCall plays this game. If you noticed that there wasn't a whole lot of highlights from the quarterback position as far as throwing to wide receivers when they played JMU. Guess is not a great thrower of the ball. He's not very accurate from what we've seen. He's thrown 3 interceptions in 2 weeks. McCall has thrown, I think, 7 in 3 years. So that tells you kind of where that difference is and how well McCall can take care of the ball compared to Guess as far as through the air. Now, Carpenter can get it done pretty well on the ground, but we've seen last week against JMU, who's also got a stout defense, you cannot just try and run on good defenses all the time. You have to have a quarterback who gains the respect of the defense and is a threat to beat you over the top. If McCall doesn't go, that's going to be hard to do for Coastal. So I am favoring Troy in this matchup. I think if you've listened to the podcast, or if you'd rather listen to the podcast, I throw out a final score there. I go Troy 27, Coastal 24. I think it could get a little bit more out of hand if McCall doesn't end up going. I hope for his sake he goes. I hope for Coastal's sake he goes, and I hope for everybody who's watching he goes, because this should be a really tight, contested contest if that's the case. I also throw out the idea that maybe he goes even if he's not 100%. He did get this injury in the App State game, but if you watch that one, he came back throughout that game and still made some passes. And then when they needed some yardage on the ground and they knew they didn't have to throw the ball, they had Carpenter come in and run those types of plays. So it could be interesting if they go with that tandem and can try and do what they did there against App State, which is keep control of that ball, keep control of that clock if they can jump on a lead early. It's important for both defenses to be tight up front early. Anybody who jumps out to a lead is going to feel like they're chasing in championship game. And I think that also favors Troy because they're obviously playing at home in this one. So if they go down early, that's bad. They feel the pressure. Maybe they try and force some things that could get them into trouble. But if they go up early, they may feel like with the run game, they can control the clock and have a better say and look down the line in this one when you get into the third and fourth quarter. I think Troy comes away with this one. I did predict them to come out of the west side before the season started. I just thought they were battle tested from the east from the years past, and the east had been a little bit stronger. Obviously, the west looked pretty good this year, but those top teams in the east are still there at the top as well. So I think Troy comes out on top. Good luck to both teams. I hope to see a great game at 3:30 Eastern on ESPN this Saturday. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the game.
Sunbelt Syndicate.